Hello, hello, viewer. Whoever you might be, say hi if you're able. Also, thanks for the follow. I stay Loralso, Ladare7, and Froggy12. There's only one viewer at the moment. I don't know if you're any one of those three, but if you are, thank you. So I actually had something else in mind for tonight's stream, and then I saw Black Widow on Friday, and I thought, wait a minute, why aren't I doing a Black Widow stream? I actually had it in mind last year. I was like, I'm gonna do a Black Widow stream when the movie comes out, and then the movie didn't come out because of fucking COVID, and then and I kind of forgot about it. So let's draw. I relatively solid idea of what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do a bit of a mix of her MCU uniform and her comic book uniform. Maybe leaning, well, I don't know, we'll see. A little bit of both, a little bit of both. What the hell happened to the music? Why aren't we hearing music all anymore? Give it a second. I'm playing off the audio library in on YouTube, and occasionally there's weird gaps between the tracks. Noticed it a lot the first time I used that library, but not so much the other time. So we'll give it a minute, and if not, I'll investigate. Hey, Parker. I see what you did there. I asked you last week, Parker, if you were going to go see it. You said I didn't have time, and I assume it hasn't changed, but I'll ask anyway, just in case you haven't by chance been able to check out. Black Widow yet? I'm assuming. Wow. Okay, I better check on that music. This is way too long for a gap. Let's find out what's going on. I'll be right back. Oh, what the hell? It was just being weird. Okay. Oof. That's stressful. Sorry to hear that, dude. Yeah, I get it. I think I'm digging the pose. My plan is to kind of lean a little bit more into the classic comic book look with certain features, but also pull some of the more real-world tactical stuff that the movie version had. And I might lean a bit more towards Scarlet for the resemblance, but we'll see how much it actually ends up looking like her. I'm just sticking to Black Widow for this one. Which honestly is good timing because I think this will be a bit of a quicker one, and I actually had my second COVID shot earlier, and I'm a little worried about if and when some side effects might kick in, because I hear that that second one can really take it out of you, so kind of hoping to keep this to a short one just in case that becomes true. And it's been a long day in general. I had 2 classes and had other stuff to do, and in addition to it all, so I'm actually doing surprisingly okay right now, but I don't know how long it's going to last. I do have a little something extra planned from what you're seeing here, though. Just to wait and see what that is, but there is something I have in mind. I think Scarlet was pretty good. Black Widow. Yeah, same thing with me, Parker. And I was saying at the beginning, I don't know if you were here yet or not, but I was how I was actually looking forward to drawing Black Widow last summer. But I was waiting for when the movie came out, and then the movie never came out, and then I had actually something else planned for this for this week. And then when I was watching the movie on Friday, I was like, oh, actually, wait, I should actually be doing this. Yeah, and that's weird timing as well. And I was surprised by that, actually. I thought they would have deliberately tried to space them apart. So here is the primary difference between the classic Black Widow look and the movie version is her belt. Which actually reminds me a lot of Catwoman's belt from Batman the Animated Series. And I think this is actually, because Black Widow was originally created in the 60s, and I think this is actually a holdover from a 60s fashion thing. Where it was kind of these, almost these gold discs. I also assume her original look was inspired a little bit by Emma Peel from the British Avengers. I don't know for sure if I'm right about that, but I kind of assume. As far as Scarlet being a good, I can't claim. I mean, I was aware of her, but I don't actually know where because I can't remember any specific comic appearances. But I was always aware that she was a thing, but I don't know where I got acquainted. It might have been in a comic, but I'm not remembering if that is the case. But no, I think she was pretty. I think that there was some complaints about her initially in that first movie, but I think that was more in the writing because I think she won everybody over pretty quick after that. By the way, just design notes 101. I considered moving this arm out a little bit more for the sake of silhouette, but I thought, like, I couldn't really justify why she would be holding that arm out. This one has a purpose. There's going to be something in her hand, but... She was actually a big Daredevil character. Her and Matt Murdock had a thing at one point. Not sure if that's where she was more prominent in the beginning or not, but I won't get into spoilers or anything, obviously, on the movie. My only real, like, there's a little nitpicky things that here and there, but I think my main issue with it really was just I wish it came out after Civil War, because that's when it's set. It's set between Civil War and Infinity War, and I feel like it would have worked better that way if it actually came out in that order. By the way, the keyword I looked up for our music tonight was just action. It kind of does, like, it's because it's your perception of it, you know? And the weird thing with it as well is like, okay, like Captain America is set in the 40s, right? And it came out after, but it worked because I think, and a part of it I think is because the beginning of it is modern day and then it ends in modern day, so it's bookended with modern day stuff. So it kind of makes it feel like it fits in the regular chronology, and the majority of the movie just serves as like a flashback, kind of. And I think that's kind of why it gets away with it. But other ones are like, this one like doesn't do that at all. Like it's 100% set at that time. Except, okay, you know what? I'm gonna risk a spoiler here because it's not really a spoiler. The post-credit scene does set up something else in the Marvel universe, as the post-credit scenes usually do, which is why I don't consider it really a spoiler. But because of that, it makes the chronology weird as well, because if you're on a rewatch, you could drop this movie after Civil War, and it would make sense. But then, this post-credit scene seems out of place. I'm trying to decide if that arm is too long. I don't, because the way she's hanging feels a little long to me, but I don't know. I might adjust that. Let's see. Yeah, that's right too. The post-credit scene for that one was weird because it was literally just a shot. Like, it worked at the time, but I don't think that would fly now because it was just literally just a shot from Thor itself. But at the time, we were just excited to be teased that Thor was coming, so got away with it. But making this gun up that she's holding, by the way. Some kind of sci-fi gun I've never seen before. Hey Fox. Not bad, how are you? Or well, I shouldn't talk for Parker. I'm okay. I had my second dose earlier though. And at the moment, no side effects, but little worried that's gonna change. Because I've heard some stuff about that second dose. Actually, I do have a bit of stomach stuff going on here, but I don't think it's that. I honestly just didn't sleep nearly enough last night, and I think I'm feeling that a bit. Anybody else get their second dose yet, by the way? I don't know if Black Widow has ever had this long of hair, but I like drawing long hair, so I'm giving her long hair. Try to stop me. I dare you. Try to stop me. Okay. Alright, I do have some things planned beyond what you're seeing here, like I said, a little bit anyway, but I'm already going to start inking this thing. Had summer intensive classes this week. Those classes are still going, but I've taught both the classes I'm teaching already. And I told them about the stream, so I think some of the new follows that I thanked earlier might have been from them. If any of you guys are watching, feel free to speak up. Parker's a foundation grad and a 3D animation grad, and Fox is a writing grad. Briefly moonlighted as a foundation student for a couple weeks. Not that we gotta talk school, just saying. Give you some common ground, conversation starter. Sorry if I'm blocking the page, just gotta lean in a little bit for some of these things. I think I made her nose a little bit too broad, but I'm okay with that. Hey Chantel, it probably will be a quick one. It might not be quite as quick as you think though, because I am when I'm done inking her, I'm going to do a little bit more, a little bit. Nice. Hey Michelle. I've been on a pretty good roll with my writing for combat fairies as well, mainly because my I did a much more detailed outline than I normally do, and that's making it fly a little bit quicker. But I have like, I also had life stuff get in the way, like the heat stopped me almost dead there for a little while, and my schedule this week is pretty stacked, largely because of the summer intensives added to the mix. Speaking of creative stuff, what's everybody working on at the moment, if they're working on anything? If they're not, that's also okay, if that wasn't already obvious. Like writer's block? Oh, you mean my head's blocked. Oh, sorry. Cool, cool. What's 3D printing? Or going to be 3D printing? Like that consistency is often the key there, though. A tower, oh, like so that the garden can kind of go onto it. Oh, you already said that. Different garden design. Gotcha. I misunderstood. Okay, I just remembered. I was debating shortening this arm, and I think I will a tiny bit. She's hanging that shoulder, so it makes sense it would go a bit lower than normal, but I feel like it's a little bit too much. Gotcha, gotcha. Sorry about that, Chantal. I don't know what this music is, but got my attention there for a second, so I guess it's not a bad thing. Hey, JC. Let's go! Sorry I'm not drawing Clairefoy for you here, JC. I was saying, everybody, how I was originally going to do something else this week, and then I realized, oh wait, I should do Black Widow. Irony, the thing I was going to do, which was off of my own list, was it also had black in the title. I'm not going to tell you what that was, because it won't even be next week. It'll be the week after, or possibly the week after that now, because I got other topical ones I want to squeeze in there. But very different character. Not Marvel character. Had the ad made up for that one and everything. It'll be a bit of a deep cut one too. It'll be a hard one for you guys to guess, but I will drop clues when the time is right. I don't know if I acknowledged it out loud, JC, or if I just acknowledged it to myself. But I kind of thought, huh, when you said that. And that's totally fair. I wouldn't be opposed to drawing her at some point. This music got interesting. What are you up to, JC? Overthinking? Oh, I've done that. It's like one of my favorite things to do, actually. I had comics today, and one of the writers is doing a comic about a character whose mental health issues become superpowers, basically. And one of them, like, she's like hyper neurotic, just, like, overthinks everything. And I was like, God, I played so hard to this character. It's like, if only I could harness it as a superpower. What am I up to? I'm drawing Black Widow right now. Thanks for asking. Tuh. I'm pretty sure one day, soon after I finished school, I blasted my resume out to like a bunch of places, or demo reel, whatever it was, and then realized I forgot to actually attach the thing. So so I just sent follow-up emails being like, "Oh, sorry," and I always remember wondering like, did I just sink my chances with all these companies? The bureaucracy of it, where you got to be all professional. If you screw something up, they're like, "Oh, never mind." Yeah. My mom used to work at an engineering firm, and whenever I would go to the office for whatever visitor or meet her for a ride or for lunch or something, whatever it might be, um, it I was always always made me so cringy, like office people, cubicles and ties. Being told how to dress is like one of my biggest pet peeves ever. Like, if I went to private school, I would be a completely different person. I would have turned into such an asshole. I would have just been like the rebel kid because I wouldn't have been able to deal with it. Yeah. I feel like I might have told this story before, but one time, not all that long after I finished school again, I don't think anyway, um, somebody at my mom's office was needing somebody to do something. Forget exactly what, some kind of graphic design type thing. And my mom was like, "Oh, my son can do that." So they got me to do it. Did it at home. It was super simple, whatever the hell it was. Did it pretty quick. And then so that person, whoever that guy was that requested the thing, decided he had some other job for me, but insisted that I be at the office to do it. Didn't want me doing it from home. And no good reason why this had to be the case as far as I could tell. So I went. My mom was actually out of town, so I didn't even have her at the office with me. Spent the entire day at this office and did jack shit for about 95% of it. I think they gave me one thing to do. Took me like 20 minutes. I was done. Somebody else, and they're like, "Oh, we might need somebody else to stick around." So somebody else gives me like a thing where all I had to do was open it in Photoshop and resize it a little bit, and it was done. Like, it was 5 minutes of work. Like, not even exaggerating. And I always felt like it was just this like asshole attitude of the guy. Like, he was like, "I'm gonna show this kid what a day's work looks like and make him stay at this office for the day." And the whole time, all he did was waste my time. could have done everything they asked for at home just as fast. Oh, I was so pissed off. Probably accurate, JC. Oh yes. I was so excited when I learned that when I was in school. Yeah, totally. That was to Michelle's second comment about wearing a tie to an interview, but it's also accurate, I think, of Fox and JC's comment. What about you, Michelle? Are you working on anything right now? You doing another drawing, one of your prompts? Or no, it wasn't a prompt, but it was part of the challenge. Oh, landscape. Cool. What kind of landscape? Beef out our arms are a little bit, because this one looks a little bit bigger. Snowy mountain scene. Cool. On a scale of 1 to Bob Ross, where do you think it lands? I will be there, JC. Are you one of the class reps, JC? And if there was surprise in my voice, that was entirely accidental. I realized as I said it in my tempo. The reason I ask is the reps haven't actually been doing speeches lately. But I guess by the time... But maybe your grad will actually be in person, so maybe it'll be another ball game. Oh, it is on Zoom. Okay. Oh, but you mean like after the thing, and we kind of have our more personal goodbyes or whatever? No idea what the hell this gun is. Oh, gotcha. It's funny to hear you say you're gonna do a sappy speech, coming from the guy that was worried that like didn't want to watch The Simpsons because he was afraid to be emotional. The Simpsons. They've had some emotional moments, but like the show is not sappy. It's not a sappy show. Like if you're comparing it to Family Guy, which is all about the shock jokes and stuff, then sure, but even watch The Simpsons. How recently or not recently are we talking? Actually, didn't you say it was the movie that you watched? Yeah, but don't go by the movie is what I meant. I don't think the movie's bad per se, but it's not what. It's not the best example of The Simpsons. One of the things I'm actually really looking forward to when I start drawing this next wave of combat fairies is binging The Simpsons. It's been a long time since I've watched any of it. Gonna focus on ones I haven't seen, like other shows I haven't seen at all first before I do that deep dive, but I will get to it. Hey, Centane. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple things with the Sharpie, but I'm gonna do most of her spot blacks with a brush pen. How are you, Centane? Valorant. For me to draw? Yes. You can. Blush time. I don't know why I went with that accent, but let's roll with it. Raise. Consider it written down. My request list isn't super long at the moment, but I do have a few of my own that I'm going to prioritize in the next couple weeks. One I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and then another one that I'm going to do next week just because it's kind of topical. What game was that, Fox? Oh, by the way, Michelle, I forgot to say, you are now obligated, of course, to share that landscape later when you're done. Just sorry to spring that on you, but, you know, it's the rules. Okay. I'm just going to throw this out there. Because I haven't finished inking the rest of the black areas, I'm getting a bit of a Taro vibe from Heavy Metal. I'm thinking Fox for sure knows what I'm talking about, and maybe Chantel. Actually, Michelle. I could see Michelle. I could see Michelle being a fan. Actually, I can see a lot of you being a fan, just whether or not you've actually seen it. I'm going by likelihood to have seen it. Heavy Metal, the animated movie from the 80s, sci-fi movie. I'm not saying you would for sure be a fan. I'm thinking there's a possibility you're a fan, or at least have seen it. I feel like maybe. You claim to not have seen a lot of movies, but for some reason I feel like maybe because you went through an animation program, maybe it would have come up. Okay, fair enough. It was well, sort of. It's a European anthology comic, so they're different stories every time, with a couple of recurring ones here and there. And the movie was based on that, yeah. I know of the Outer Worlds only just recently, because somebody showed me the trailer for the new one, and that trailer for Outer Worlds 2, by the way, is hilarious. If you haven't seen that trailer, it's kind of just making fun of game trailers in general. What is the game of any type that you guys have? Well, I shouldn't say, I guess board games don't count. I guess that you guys have replayed the most. You think? I know I replayed Jedi Outcast a bunch. Pod Racer quite a bit. There was a Spider-Man game from like 2000 that I replayed the shit out of that quite a few times. Trying to unlock all the comic book covers and stuff. That Return of the King game that Parker was playing was definitely one that came up more than once. Okay. Donkey Kong Country, could see that. Earthworm Jim 2 was one that I replayed a lot. That was like, Earthworm Jim 1 was actually just like way too fucking hard. And I think they got the memo, so they made Earthworm Jim 2 way too easy. And it was super fun because there was a load of jokes and stuff. And the writing was really funny, but the game was pretty easy. I remember that game, but I don't remember if I ever played it or not. Gran Turismo. Mega Man? I can see that. I never played a lot of GoldenEye because I never had an N64, but I know that that's a big one that a lot of people, I think, did a lot of replays on. Oh, got it. Yeah, I was never too crazy on those. Characters with this much solid black are very satisfying to ink. Gotta say. Boot number one. Oh wait, I missed something. Ah. When I first got my Sega Genesis, first console I ever owned, it came with the first Sonic the Hedgehog, and my parents added a race car game, a Formula One race car game, mainly just so that I'd have a two-player game that I could play when I had a friend visiting or something. I always sucked at that game, so bad. I did a fair amount of replays of Phantom Menace game for Star Wars as well. And Pod Racer, but I don't know if that counts because it's not like story driven, so there's not really an end to that necessarily anyway. Once you unlock everything, you just have fun with the races. But it was a super fun game though. Is Galaxies the one that was kind of like Warcraft, but with Star Wars characters and vehicles and stuff? Because if so, I definitely played that one a lot as well. And actually, or StarCraft, I would say. And StarCraft actually is another one I played quite a bit. Okay, I'm gonna erase some of my excess stuff here, or attempt to. Fist is really stuck there. It's annoying. Lifted a little bit of detail there I didn't mean to get rid of. Okay. Gotcha. Touch up her mouth. I had a little like eraser pen, and I seem to have lost it. I'm gonna take a quick look just in case. So here's the refills for it, I think. So what the hell happened to the pen itself? I would get a little bit more specific with my erasing if I could find that. Wait. What's that? What's that? I think I just found it. I found it. Found it, guys. Joyous day. The eraser is accomplishing very little, actually, if I'm being honest. Give the music a chance, it might come back. If it doesn't, I'll fix it. You might be wondering why I'm going to the trouble of erasing my rough lines when I don't normally do that. And if you are wondering that, you also might be guessing. Might already have an idea. I don't actually mind some of the blue coming through, because like the blue, if I was coloring it, I probably would make a lot of these highlights kind of blue. Okay, I gotta double check the music, and I gotta grab something anyway before I do my next thing. One sec, guys. All right. Well, we're not going much longer. I'm just gonna restart the music there. Okay. Ugh. I went to grab. Dun, dun, dun. Virtue's gonna be pissed off. She's not watching tonight because she mentioned this recently. I'm gonna add a little bit of color. I'm not doing a full colored pass here. Strategic color. Not quite, Parker. Not quite. Ugh. Gotta make the noises. Okay, here we go. But yeah, no worries. You haven't missed the finale yet. Said I was originally gonna make her lips red, but actually I think I'm gonna make them black. Thank you, Centane. And we'll do a little bit of shadowy detail on some of this. There is color. Also, hi, Mark. And morning, does that mean you just woke up? Okay, now I'm going to add one more thing. Just got to decide. I'm hoping I got something I can trace to do part of the work for me. But I might have to do the whole shebang. The same size? Yeah, it probably is. 1 sec. Let me see if I have a flyer or something on my desk. 1 sec. Maybe one of these. Expired coupons might do the trick. That might do it. It's not bad. Yeah, alright, let's try with that. And why do you say that, Mark? Is this folded right? Hopefully it's close enough for what I'm doing. This detail brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. I'm assuming there's a Papa John's near me. I haven't tried it yet, but I get these flyers now that I live here. Yeah, but this just came out, and let's just say next week's stream is a thing. So we might not be, there might be a chance. Maybe. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna probably block the camera here for a second. Just bear with me, guys. Honestly, on the subject of Loki, it's really fucking with me that they're dropping them on Wednesdays instead of Fridays now. Is he? I mean, I feel like we find that out about a lot of people, so I'm not that shocked. What did Papa John do? Or maybe I did hear. Did I hear? I don't know. off my... Want to become famous? No, back off, Spambot. Sorry to be so clinical here at the moment. Okay. 11.5. Oops. By clinical, I mean mathematical. Perfect answer. Perfect response, actually, is what I should say. That moment you realize how much red ink you're about to blow. Well, in the name of art. Now, I think I'm actually gonna erase these lines because I'll be able to see them clearly enough, but that way they won't blend too much with the marker. I don't know if you guys noticed, when I was doing the Batman one, I actually had pre-drawn a bit of a grid for myself to help me with my layout, and then I erased it so I could see it well enough to know where it was supposed to go, but... yeah, no getting into spoilers, but I like Taskmaster in it. Yeah, I guess it's... Okay, I just had an idea. This line kind of fucks it. I can cheat that though. This will save me ink, but actually look cooler if I do it this way. By the way, even though this whole thing is about Black Widow, every time you put BW, I think you're referring to black and white. Like we're talking about just drawing or something. You see Black Widow, Mark? And if so, what were your thoughts? But no spoilers, obviously. Cool, cool. Stop it, JC. Stop it. Is that how you watched it, JC? Well, actually, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to answer. I'm not going to give you shit either way. I'm just kidding. It's a theater experience that I'm all about. And what's the movie gonna be, Parker? Is it gonna be Black Widow? Okay. I think there's a pretty good argument for double bills at the drive-in, actually, if you can get yourself out there. Those are pretty fun. And pretty cheap, also. But I do like the Rio, don't get me wrong. My favorite Rio experience is me and a buddy went and saw Wolf Cop and Wolf Cop 2, another one. And it was hosted by the Canadian singer Gowan, who had a song on the soundtrack of both. Moonlight Desires, to be exact. It was around Christmas time. There was a Mrs. Claus walking around that turned out to be a burlesque dancer, but played the part of Mrs. Claus all the way up to the moment she started taking her clothes off. It was pretty funny. I definitely want to see Space Jam, but I'm just because of the nostalgia of the original one. But I very mixed feels on that trailer. I also wish they would have just embraced the classical the entire time. Actually, I think the 3 that they've done does look good, but I just like it's Looney Tunes. You know, let's keep it the traditional. Like, let's go cartoony with it. I think I know that buddy, Parker. That was the second time I'd seen that at the Rio, actually. The buddy was me, by the way, Centane. if that wasn't obvious. Gotta say, for eyeballing, I'm not doing too bad with these lines across as far as straightness, hey? Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I wasn't expecting myself to do this. Fucked up by drawing that line, though. Might not look quite as ragged, but I'll try to cheat it a little bit. I also saw Alan Doyle at the Rio one time from Great Big Sea. Cousin was living with me, and she was a big fan. We went and saw it. That was pretty nice. Also saw a movie that I narrated at the Rio one time, an indie movie that they rented at the Rio to screen it for everybody. Thanks, JC. If you've watched Disaster Artist, and you should definitely watch The Room. You probably actually would have liked Disaster Artist more if you'd watched The Room first, to be honest. Alright, I'm going to sign it. We are officially done. Brought this in a little under 2 hours, which I guess I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. If not 100% like it appeared in my head, but they usually aren't. And this one's a little bit closer than average, I think. Definitely Centane. And if you're able to go to the... Okay, two schools of thought on this. First time I saw The Room was at the Rio, and it was a really fun experience. But part of the gimmick when you see it in theaters is people like scream out the lines of dialogue and stuff as it happens, and they Centane, and they throw some stuff around and whatnot. And it's really fun because of that, but you kind of almost miss how bad the dialogue is because you're hearing the audience screaming out instead. So I think the first time I saw it, I'll probably never forget because it was the first time seeing it, and that was like unexpected the way the crowd was. But I think I appreciated it in a lot of respects the second time I saw it at the Rio with Parker, because we could scream. I could scream with it, you know, like I knew what was coming, and that's part of it, right? Yeah. Why can't you watch it, Fox? I know it's bad, but it's supposed to be bad. That's the fun of it. If you think you might struggle with it, then go get high and watch it at the Rio. And I can't imagine you not having a good time. I wasn't high for either experience, and I enjoyed it. But some people probably prefer it that way. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll be back on Thursday. For it's an original one, but based on a mythological one that somebody brought up recently that apparently was a request that I'd forgotten about. So I decided to fast track that, and then I'll do the character design one the week after that. But anyway, have a good night, everybody. See you next time. Thanks for watching.